Dan. Today I'm here with business life strategist.
Everywhere. There's all kinds of suffering, right? I don't think most achievers, I perceive you to be an achiever, I certainly am. We would never say we suffer, you get stressed, right? You get a little frustrated at times. But if I follow the trail of your stress, it'll take me to your deepest fears. And I always believe that life is the dance between what you desire most and what you fear most. That's where people play. And so I like to dig underneath and find that. So you see people suffering, like billionaire clients will call me up and want me to help them with some business aspect. And I kind of see myself as a Trojan horse. I was telling you off camera. I go in there to give people what they say they want, but then I deliver what they really need. And what we all need is a life that's more meaningful, a life that's more fulfilling.
What are they saying that they want?
Well, they'll say, I want to take this division to another level, or it's an athlete and they're melting down. I got to turn Serena Williams down right now. What am I going to do? Or you also see people suffering over the littlest stuff. I mean, we live in a world where 50% of the planet lives on $2.50 a day, $900 a year. And most people worry about their finances. And I think we want to do well in that area. I've put focus on how to help people in that area. But to suffer is just to miss the beauty of this moment, miss the beauty of your life. And I'm obsessed with, if I can't find ecstasy in this moment here with you, Brian, as weird as that may sound, if I can't enjoy this moment thoroughly, more accolades, more economics, more business, more whatever is not going to make your life any better. But if you can enjoy each moment and you can let go of what the brain does when it starts to make up all these stories that you're stressing yourself out about, then if there's a problem, you'll handle that problem from a different place, as opposed to trying to handle the problem from feeling weak or tired or exhausted or stressed or pissed off or whatever the case may be.
Well, it's easy.
Let's go. Let's go. Good morning. Good morning, Dream Team. Rise and shine. Another blessed and grateful day coming towards the middle of the week. Today is Wednesday. Happy hump day. Hope you guys had a phenomenal week so far. Today is going to hit hard, right? A phenomenal topic. The 10 simple steps to go ahead and apply to your life for self-care and going out and creating a better you. So before we go ahead and dive in, let's drop some gratitude. What are you grateful for coming in today? Grateful to be alive, grateful for God, grateful to be healthy, grateful to be able to move these things, grateful for all the abundance, grateful for the breakthroughs, grateful for honestly all of the knowledge and wisdom that's been getting poured in and day out for these past couple weeks, past couple months, because I can feel and I can see the transformations through each and every one of you. So let's go ahead and get into today's topic. Here we go. All right, self-care. Get out your pens, get out your notebooks, because as I go through these 10 simple steps at the end, you're going to realize how important these are and how much of a role these actually play in all of our lives, right? So if you can get yourself right, you're going to be able to transform the world around you. It's kind of like being on an airplane, right? What do they say as far as the mask? When something happens, you don't get the mask, you don't put it on somebody else. You have to get the mask and you have to put on yourself first, and then you can go ahead and take care of others. You see, I've spent so much time, for myself included, taking care of others when in the meantime, I wasn't taking care of myself. So you know what essentially ends up happening is you pour from an empty cup, right? How can you pour into anybody else if you have no value, if you have no life, if you have no energy to give out to the world? So today, this is about pouring this up. This is about pouring in your cup. So let's go ahead and get into it. You ready? Self-care tips. Number one, if you guys actually go back and look at it, self-care was actually written in Forbes a couple years back in 2017 in September. So if you don't know about Forbes, this is talking about the best of the best, the highest income earners in the industry. And this is what they're writing about, the highest income earners in the world. This is one of the main issues and topics that they're actually bringing up is self-care. So this is why I'm going back to start in the month of June, not just because I feel that it's needed, but because it's something that's global around the world. And here's how I know. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So you know what the Google actually results engine shows? There was over 2.7 million individuals looking at self-care, wondering about mental health awareness, how they can go ahead and start loving themselves more, how they can go ahead and start feeling and living the life that they deserve. So as we got this training this morning from our mentor, this caused a lot of paradigm shifts. So I believe it's going to do the same for you as well. So self-care, here's why number one, you need to make this part of your life. Because if you think this is just affecting one aspect, believe it or not, this is affecting all pillars, right? Not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. This is touching all aspects. So this is why before we get into how to go out and really make the money, how to do the tactical steps, we need to go back to the basics so you can truly understand what it takes to go ahead and master yourself. Okay. So 4 reasons why you shouldn't neglect self-care, right? Number 1, knowing your worth. The second that you don't understand your worth, you're gonna let somebody else tell you their dreams, and you're gonna go ahead and help them build their dreams, right? If you don't know, the reason why my name is Define Dreams, why I created this brand years ago, is because I got out of college and I'm seeing people make $10, $15, $20 an hour. You know what I saw? Most people have never defined their own dreams. They've never actually figured out what it is that they want. In fact, we're getting paid enough at a job to stay there, but not enough to actually go out and achieve what we want. So I decided, you know what? Most of us, we're not thinking for ourselves. That's why the book is called Think and Grow Rich. How many of you have actually taken the time this week to really sit down and figure out, what do you want for the summer? What are the results that you want, right? 2 goals that you guys can think about. Money goals, right? What kind of income do you want to make by the end of the summer? And number 2 is fulfillment. What's going to make you truly fulfilled? The way you're going to be able to do that, it starts with self-care, right? Taking care of yourself. So knowing your worth, that's number 1. That's so important. If you don't know what you're worth, you're going to get into the wrong conversations, seeing the wrong people, listening to the wrong music, going out to the wrong places. But when you know your self-worth, here's what starts to happen. Somebody's going to tell you, yo, this summer, do you want to go out drinking? Do you want to go to the grill? Do you want to go ahead and watch the game? Here's what I know. All of these things are great, but I've also realized for the past 3 to 5 years, if you don't sacrifice what you love is going to be the sacrifice, right? So I've had to sacrifice a lot of different things to get to the level that I'm at. And I also know what got me here is not going to get me there. Same thing for anybody else that's listening. So if I want to get to a new level, I'm still going to have a certain level of discipline that's going to allow me to get there. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. For this summer, when people ask me to go out, to go do different things, to go waste my time and energy, I don't have time for it. Why? Because my goals, my dreams, my impact, my loved ones are more important. Now, I'm not telling you can't have fun, but what I am telling you is don't major in minor things. Don't major in the TV, the Netflix, the going out, the parties, the wasted Wednesdays, thirsty Thursdays, because this is summertime. It's so easy to get vulnerable to all of the things that's about to happen to you. This is called distractions, right? It's distracting you off your goal. It's taking off traction from you from getting to where you want to go. So number 1, you've got to be able to know your worth out of these 4 reasons why you shouldn't neglect self-care. Number 2, a healthy balance, right? This is where we talked about getting all of your pillars right. You've got to be able to spend time working on your spiritual, your emotional, your physical. Financial actually comes last. So this is important to be aware of your pillars and how much energy and how much time are you spending on them, okay? Because they all play a role. Number 3 is stress management. All right, if there's one big nugget I've learned in these past handful of years of entrepreneurship, it's being able to handle your emotions. Emotional intelligence, right? How do you react when something goes wrong in your life? Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. The other day, I was at the gym and I got a call and somebody had called me and told me like, yo, D, my tire just went flat. I don't know how to fix a tire. I said, well, bro, it's not a big deal. You probably got a spare in your back tire, right? In your trunk, right? Yeah. You've got a jack, right? Yes. So boom, went out, actually did it, fixed the tire. But not only did they fix the tire, but I gave them a different way to look at it. You see, the old me, whenever my tire or something crazy like that used to happen, I would be so upset and that would get me agitated. I'd be frustrated the whole rest of the day. But you know what I realized? I started to look at these as blessings. Maybe that flat tire could have stopped me from getting in a crash miles down the road, from something happening. So start to look at the problems in your life differently. It could be there to get you to learn more about patience. Maybe you're too greedy right now, right? Even with trading, that happened to me at the beginning, right? I started making a little bit of money and I thought I knew everything. And guess what happened? Blew the account. So all of these lessons that happen in your life, it's there to teach you something. That's why they call it either a loss or a lesson. You can either learn from it or you can keep repeating it over and over again. So that's the goal of life, is to be able to learn from these things. And last but not least is start living, stop existing. That's why they call us human beings, right? But the problem is many of us are not being, we're just existing. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the quote, many live till 75, but we essentially die at 25. So me getting out of college, this is exactly what I was talking about. I'm seeing everybody, we just spent all of this time, all of this money to go out to just go work a normal job. Now, once again, you'll never hear me talk down on jobs, but I am up on opportunity. I understand that we're God's highest form of creation. I understand that there's no limit to we can go out and accomplish with the right knowledge, with the right wisdom, and with the right action steps. So this is so important. All of this plays a role in really creating the life that we want to live. Okay, let's keep it going. 4 things. You ready? When you truly start to experience another level of life, when you truly get a paradigm shift, when you enter a different level, when you open new doors, you're going to go through 4 different levels. Okay, this is important. This is something I want you to go ahead and star on your paper because this is going to make it make sense. You ready? Here we go. Fear. Okay, when you truly start to do something different, when you step into the unknown, what happens 99% of the time? You're fearful, right? I'm fearful because we don't know the outcome. So anything that we're uncertain about, it causes fear most of the time. So this is why it's important to understand these 4 steps, because if you know it ahead of time, you're going to be able to handle your emotions as you go through it. That's why before I mentioned emotional intelligence, right? Fear is what? It's an emotion. So learning how to handle it. So number 1 is fear. You're gonna have to kill off all of the long-held beliefs that you had about yourself, right? The you that used to tell yourself, I'm not good enough. The you that used to tell yourself, I'm too lazy. I'm not in the mood. I don't have the time. That you is going to have to be cut off in order to get to where you want to go. Same as myself. I had to cut off a lot of different things over the past couple of years. I had to cut off the parties. I had to cut off the negative friends, the negative influences in my life. Was it scary? Yes, because it was unknown. It was something that I wasn't normally used to doing, but this is where the transformation begins. This is where the process truly starts. So the first stage is fear. You ready? The second stage is going to be sadness. Why sadness? It's actually an interesting way to think about it, but the reason why you could be sad is you start to realize the potential that you have inside and how much you could have actually done maybe if you learned this 3 or 4 years ago. That's exactly how I felt about trading. When I first saw trading and I got introduced to this industry, and I saw individuals making a day what I would have made in a year, working my butt off. Yes, that got me a little bit sad. That got me a little bit angry because I was thinking to myself, if I'm seeing this at 21, imagine what I could have done if I saw this at 18. In fact, I've had individuals in my business that are 16 years old. Imagine being able to learn these type of skill sets at 16, learning about the mind, learning about the thoughts, learning how important it is to understand what it is that we're eating, and even putting alkaline liquid in our body. All of these things, it got me a little bit sad when I figured out all of life, most of us, is a lie, right? We're taught to go to school, to get a job, to go ahead and get a house, to get married, to pay bills and pass. That's the American dream. That's what most people are striving for. So the sad truth is, it's not even the sad truth, it's the truth. You are built for a lot more than you could ever even imagine. And that's the truth. So the third part is now you get excited. You get excited because you realize, okay, that's all right if I didn't know this years ago, but guess what I can do now if I really apply this? And that's what I said with trading. Imagine if I really go all in with this skill set for the next 18 months, for the next 2 to 5 years. Imagine what I could do. I spent 4 years in college to be $40,000 in debt. I spent 4 years here to learn a skill set where I'm now unemployable. I haven't clocked into a job since 2017. So here's what I know. These are skill sets that you can take with you for life. And when you start to understand and get excited about what you can really achieve, this is when you start to take action. This is when you start to really not just take notes to do it, but you're taking notes to intentionally learn, to take what it is that you write and go out and implement it. And last but not least is normal, right? You become a rule breaker. You become a rule maker. You start raising the standards in your life. You start saying, you know what? I care too much about myself to go out and eat junk food. I care too much about myself to go out and waste time at the parties, at the wasted Wednesdays, going out and doing things that's not conducive to my growth. Okay, so all important things to understand. So I told you to go ahead and end this off. I was going to give you guys 10 simple steps on how to go ahead and think about your self-care. Better yet, how to implement self-care into your life. So you ready? Here it is. 10 simple steps. Number 1, exercise, right? Yes, you guys have got to take the time. And here's the deal. Some of you, I was talking about it this week. They're like, well, D, I don't have a gym membership like you. Okay, you don't need a gym membership. Do you guys have outside? You have a garage? You have sidewalks that are near your street? Go out and take a run. Go out and take a jog. Go ahead and get on a bike. Start small, right? If you guys don't want to go to the gym, go ahead and go to the store, get bands so you can work out at home and nobody has to see you. Whatever it is, I need you to get moving, because if there's one thing I've seen is exercise, this is it. This is one of the biggest foundations. You can have all the wealth in the world, but if you're not healthy, none of it matters. Okay? When I wrote my congratulations letter for the end of the year, December 31st, I didn't start it with materialistic things. I didn't start it with being able to travel. I started it with being able to have a peace of mind and to be healthy. So the first thing I want to talk about, and this is not even just from me, this is from Forbes, but this is why this is on the list. Because the top 1%, the 5%, they know how important it is to take care of your body and your mind. So number one is going to be exercise, okay? 2, meditation and deep breathing. This is big, and if we're being honest, I was not very good at meditating when I first started, okay? In fact, I was terrible at it. I'm still working on it till this day. Why? Because it's not easy to be able to sit still and block out the noise, okay? We all have all these, most of the time it's negative thoughts that are rerunning through our brain all day long, and that's what we're trained to think about. So the beauty of meditation is, number one, being able to find out where your thoughts are coming from, being able to still them, and being able to start thinking the right thoughts, right? It's called conscious thinking, right? Being able to trigger your subconscious by what is that we see, hear, and we're around. So meditating is so important for being able to create a balance inside of your mind, because here's what I mean by balance. We have 2 parts. We have a mind and we have our body, okay? Most of the time, they're off. This is why most people are incongruent, okay? You call your chakras, like you talk about alignment. If you've ever studied that, this is what that means. When you can get your mind, your body, and your spirit aligned. The way you do that, the easiest way any of us can do that, literally today, getting off of this call, is by breathing, okay? When you can be intentional with your breathing, guess what you just did? You've just literally aligned your mind and your body. This is where alignment really starts. So if you don't believe me, go Google it. Go look it up for yourself. But if you look at elites, this is why even the top basketball players, the top artists, the top performers, before they go on stage, you know what they do? They do certain breathing techniques. Because if you pay attention, when you're nervous, when you're happy, when you're sad, we have different breathing techniques. So this is so important to take time to study it and learn it. Because if you ever get fearful, if you ever get stressed out, your breathing is one of the first places you need to start. So important. Definitely a lesson I've been taking for the past couple of years. Number 3, take a break when you need it. Take a break when you need it, right? We all need a recharge, okay? I don't want to see anybody get burnt out. So here's what you have to do. This is why it's so important to take time for yourself every day. If you're just running, you're on go, and you're not taking time for your spiritual, you're not taking time for your mindset, you're going to get burnt out. How do I know? Because I've been there. So if you can take time every day to develop yourself, to grow yourself, to really love yourself, this is where you fill your cup up, right? It's kind of like a battery. If you keep your battery plugged in, you're going to have charge. But if you don't plug it in, you're going to be drained. So how do you stay plugged in? All of these different things that I'm telling you today, these 10 reasons, are going to help you stay plugged in and charged. Number 4, choose wisely who it is that you spend your time with. Okay, I want you to think about it in the past week. In the hours that you've spent with other individuals, has it drained your energy, or has it gave you back energy? Did it get you excited? Did it get you inspired? You've got to really pay attention to this, because we have multiple different people in our life. You see, we have energy drainers and we have energy givers. Okay, there's 3 types of people in our life. You ready? There's people we need to spend more time with. Write this down. That's important. There's people we need to spend more time with, number 1. There's people we need to spend less time with, number 2. And number 3, yes, I'm sorry to say it, but guess what? There's people you need to cut off. Okay, there's people that's not adding any value to your life, and it's taking up space. It's like a garage, right? If you were to think about this house as a garage right now, okay, and it's filled up with junk, it's filled up with nonsense, I have no room for abundance in my life. I have no room. I can't fit anything else in there. So if I want to allow room for more abundance, how many of you guys want more abundance, more blessings, and more joy? Drop some twos down below, right? We all want that. Well, the only way to really have that begin to flow in our life, you've got to take out the trash. You've got to take out anything that's not benefiting you, that's not serving you, that's not adding value to your life. You see, a lot of people say, well, I hate when you use me. Well, you know what's interesting about relationships? Relationships, you're meant to use each other. You see, there should be a value given exchange. If somebody's not giving you value, it's not a relationship. So I want you to really think about everybody that's in your life right now, and is there a value exchange? Because odds are, if they're draining your energy, there's probably no value exchange, right? That's the root behind it. So important. Choose who you're spending time with. 5, laugh. Laughing. This is so important. A lot of you guys, I've been through it. We're stressed out. We're negative all day. It seems like Murphy's Law where everything is going wrong, right? We've all been there. So you've got to be able to learn to laugh about life, right? If something goes wrong in your life, laugh about it. Because here's the truth. The problems don't end. There's nobody that's perfect that just has a perfect sunny day all day long. Things are perfect. Things are bliss. Relationships are wonderful. There's no arguments. I hate to break it to you, but nobody's like that. So the truth is, you've got to be able to learn to laugh about different things, right? I've learned to laugh about people not believing in my vision. I've learned to laugh when I lose a trade. I've learned to laugh when somebody go ahead and comments down on my post saying this is a waste of time, because I've started to see it doesn't matter what they think, right? Yesterday's video is over what? Addiction to approval. So if you're addicted to other people's approval, you're going to be limited by their beliefs your whole life. So that's my goal. I want you guys to go out and laugh, right? Enjoy the good and also enjoy the bad, because it takes both. We would never be able to have good days if we didn't have what? The other side. That's the law of polarity. We need both. You would never be able to enjoy a sunny day if it never rained, because it would just be the same thing all the time. It'd be the same emotion. So number 6, eat greens every day. All right, I'm not going to get on here and tell you guys, you need to go vegan. You need to cut out meats, although I am going to go ahead and help suggest it to you. But what I am going to tell you is whole foods. Okay. Number 1, the first thing that we talked about was going to be exercising. Number 6, I'm bringing it back, right? We're going tying these together a little bit. You've got to pay attention to what you're putting in your body. Okay. Anything that comes in a package, anything that is most of the time in a plastic bottle, believe it or not, it's acidic. Okay. If you don't know what acidic is, anything that is junk food that is processed, it's acidic. So the main topic for number 6, if something's acidic, you're more prone to disease, illness, and cancer. None of us want any of that, right? So if you pay attention, when people actually get cancer, what kind of diet? Drop it down below. Who knows this? When somebody gets cancer and they even go on maybe chemo treatment, what kind of diet does the doctor have them go on? Who knows this? What kind of diet? If you pay attention, they might put them on a keto diet, but most time they put them on an alkaline diet. Why? Because diseases, bacteria, illnesses, cancer, it can't exist in an alkaline environment. So the easiest way to do that, whole foods, right? Greens, vegetables, fruits. Every day when you guys wake up, the first thing you put in your body, this is so important. It should be alkaline water, and it should probably be fruits, vegetables. I'm telling you right now, when you start your day on fire, the rest of the day is probably going to flow like that. How many of y'all feel lazy I'm about to go in right here. You ready? You know what one of the biggest lies that we've been taught is? This is wild, okay? For babies, what do babies normally eat? Most normal things, right? They have their formula, and even as kids until 6, 7 years old, we have all the normal name brand cereals, Kellogg's, right? Reese's Puff cereal, all that. Do you know how cancerous all of those brands are? If you really go ahead and do your research, right? There's individuals that have actually pretty much run the food industry since way back and before time. Not going to get into that right now, but here's what you need to understand. A lot of the name brands that we eat is not built for us to be healthy. It's built for money. It's built for business. So just because it's a big name brand doesn't mean you guys should be eating it. So I want you to really, even the fruit that you go and eat, you think your fruit is good? Sorry to tell you, but it's probably juiced with steroids, fertilizers. So organic greens, whole foods. I'm so strict on this because my sister passed away from cancer. So if you wonder why I go off on this topic, that's why. I saw somebody pass away at 28 years old that was auditioning to be a Denver Broncos cheerleader. And I always ask myself the question, how does that happen? How can somebody be so young and just pass just like this? Well, I started to realize, guess what? It comes down to the things that we eat, the things that we drink. It's even deeper than that. What kind of toothpaste do you use? If you have fluoride in your toothpaste today, I'm going to need you to throw it out. You should no longer be having fluoride in your body. If you didn't know, fluoride is one of the most deadly, most toxic things that we can put in our body. And it's in 90% of toothpaste. It's pretty wild, right? Here's number 2, your deodorant. I don't know if you know this, but 90% of your deodorant is toxic for your body. In fact, 90% of the lotions that we put on is toxic for your body. Here's a lesson that I learned from Kevin Trudeau. You know what he says? He wrote a book called Supernatural Cures. If you haven't read it, go read it. It's going to change your life, okay? He talks about 2 different types of things. Number 1 is, he calls it I forget the book, but it's called like the 90-year-old ape, right? And it talks about how with monkeys, with apes that are out in the wild, they don't experience cancer, diseases, illnesses. Why? Because they don't have all the pharmaceutical pills that a lot of us take. They don't have a lot of the junk and processed foods that we eat. So there's a reason why they don't have the diseases and things that we suffer from, because they're not putting those types of things in our body. The second part is, we're not going back to lotions and what we put on our skin. You know what he says? If you wouldn't eat it, you shouldn't be putting it on your skin, because it's toxic. It's getting into your bloodstream and it's getting absorbed. So how many things are we putting on our body that we wouldn't eat, right? What kind of soap do you use in the shower? All of these, believe it or not, plays a role in your health, plays a role in your energy, in the way that you feel, and honestly, how long we're going to live. So definitely a topic I wanted to take some time on, because I know this is super important. Number 7, avoid emotional eating. Okay, this is kind of piggybacking off the last one, but this is important too. If you pay attention, people say, well, people have been eating meat for years, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep eating meat. Do you know why a lot of times people back in the day, they didn't really experience as many diseases as we have now with meat? Here's the reason why. Because food was rationed. You see, if you had a huge family, if you had a family of 8 and they went out and they got an animal back, well, they had to ration those meals, and they had to eat smaller portions over a period of time. But you see what happens now? We're able to just go to the grocery store and go get pounds, go get a slab of meat, and go knock it out in a night or two. We weren't built to consume that much meat, right? So there's a reason why you see the numbers back then compared to them now. This is why, because it's so accessible now. It's so easily. So I'm not telling you guys don't go eat meat, but what I am telling you is limit it at least a couple times out of the week if you're not doing so. So avoid emotional eating. Obesity is one of the biggest problems in the U.S. Why? Fast food stores are everywhere. So one of the biggest problem about most people, this is just awareness in general. You can see everybody eating this junk food, this garbage. You might go to work and see people eating out all the time, but you've got to be able to be intentional and have awareness to love yourself enough to say, I'm not putting this in my body today. I'm tired of feeling tired. I'm tired of feeling lazy. So that's my goal, is for you guys to be intentional with what you're putting in your body, and watch how much better you feel. Watch how much more energy that you move throughout the day. Last 3, ready? Number 8, start a journal. This is big. All right, I'm going to be real with you guys. This was one of the hardest things that I had to do, was journaling. For myself, I have a photographic memory, so I'm very good at being able to just picture, visualize things, and then get it done. At least I thought, right? You can do that. You can get to a certain level doing that, but here's what I've also seen. Extraordinary and ordinary, you know what the difference is? Just that little extra. So it takes you doing extra little things to get to new levels. That was something I had to do. I had to start being able to take my thoughts, my feelings, my manifestations, my visualizations, and put them on paper. Okay? So if you don't journal right now, this is something, you can take what you want out of it, but I promise you, when you go back and you look at your life and you actually look at you journaling, you being able to write down your visions and your goals, most people that write down what is it they want have a 25% better chance of actually achieving it. So if you look at most people that are successful, there's a reason why they write. Not just type it, not just put it on their phone. There's something that happens kinesthetically when you actually write it and you put it on paper. So journaling is big. Journaling changed my life. Number 9, learn to say no. Okay, we're talking about the summertime. You're going to get invited to a lot of different things over these next 90 days. Okay, there's going to be 1 or 2 people. There's going to be people that end up really staying the same over these next 90 days. Or I promise you, I've seen it for 5 years now. You're going to see people that have extreme quantum leaps and that are growing at a continuous level. And the difference is going to be really simple. One side was aware of their decisions. The other side actually made the conscious decisions to do the right ones. Okay. So you guys can go out and you can go ahead and do all these different things, but don't complain 90 days later when you see other individuals withdrawing, leveling up, seeing the success. You know why? Because this was me. I saw this happen years ago when I first started because I wasn't taking the journal intentional. I wasn't getting up early. I was sleeping in. I wasn't taking the personal development serious. I was like, okay, they're reading books, but why would I take it serious? There's no way a couple of books are really going to make them level up like that. There's no way. You know what happened? A year and a half later, I watched people go from making $2,000 a month to $25,000 a month, right? I saw some of the most astronomical leaps I've ever seen. I went from seeing people being 24 years in college, never having an idea about trading. In a matter of 3 years, they went from literally knowing nothing to $750,000 a month. Okay. Some of you know who I'm talking about. So when I tell you I've really seen quantum leaps in a short amount of period of time, I've seen it, I've experienced it, and I know it for a fact it can happen for you if you're willing to go ahead and start loving yourself and step into the shoes that you know you're capable of getting into. And last but not least, stop overthinking. Stop overwhelming yourself. Okay. I gave a perfect example yesterday. This was from one of the trainings that we got, but this was big because this hit me hard. Somebody was like, well, D, I want to start going to the gym, but I don't really know where to start. So here's a perfect example. The reason why people don't get a lot of things done is because the way that you block it and the way that you think about it. Okay. I'm going to give you an example. There's two people right here, A and B. A person, when they think about going to the gym, here's what they think about. Oh man, I've got to go ahead and get clothes for today. I've got to go ahead and get something to eat. I've got to go ahead and drive all the way over there. I've got to get there. I've got to go in the locker room. I've got to change my clothes. I've got to go ahead and I've got to find which machines I want to work out. And then I've got to go ahead and I've actually got to do the thing. And then when I finish, I've got to go ahead and shower and I got to change my clothes. I got to drive back in my car. I got to go home. I got to get something to eat. I'm probably going to be really tired. Do you see how many things they just blocked that into going to the gym? They just created 97 different activities just to go to the gym. You know how I think about it? I'm going to go ahead and get something to eat, put my shoes on, go to the gym, go knock it out, come back home, and get a protein shake. I made it 3 things. I made it very simple, right? The reason why most people don't get things done, you're over blocking things and you're making it a lot more complicated than it seems, right? I'll give you a couple different examples. If you want to go ahead and trade today, ask yourself this question. What time are the Go Live sessions today? And I'm going to go ahead and get on that Go Live session. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take some of those trades. I'm going to write some questions in the chat. That's being intentional. That's not overthinking it, right? If you want to make a video today, if you want to give some type of value, what's the value I'm going to give? And what do I want people to feel after I'm done? But some people, you might overthink it like, man, I don't want Bob99 to comment on my post. I wonder what the friends from my old high school are going to say when I go ahead and drop this. You see, you're overthinking it. The second you overthink it, you're going to take yourself away from doing the action. So this is so important when it comes to building your business, when it comes to trading, when it comes to your life, when it comes to all aspects inside of what it is that you're doing. So family, this is my 10 reasons, 10 simple steps that you can go ahead and apply to go ahead and take care of yourself and go out and create a better you. So if you guys got any value today, go ahead and smash that like button, drop some 7s down below. And here's what I know. The month of June, this is a month full of more blessings, more abundance, more success. We are jumping to new levels, and I can see you guys already growing. So with that being said, I love you guys. Your favorite entrepreneur, Define Dreams. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it right here in your hand. I love you, family. Let's grow. Game time.